Hi, I am reading Chapter 38 in A History of Us called A Nasty Triangle. Follow along. You may be getting the idea that the United States began as a collection of settlements that were not much alike. And you are right. South Carolina wasn't like Pennsylvania, and Maryland wasn't like Connecticut. The people who founded the colonies had a lot to do with those differences, and so did the conditions of the land. Massachusetts had a special problem because of its rocky soil and cold climate. It was tough being a farmer in New England, but New Englanders were tough people who liked challenges. So they did farm, although for many it was subsistence farming. That means they grew enough for themselves. They didn't usually have extra crops to sell. A few New England farmers were able to sell their farm products abroad, but mostly New England's land just wasn't right for large farms or plantations like those in the South. And when it came to industry, the British made things difficult. They wouldn't let the colonists manufacture goods that competed with English goods. You can understand why that caused some grumbling. New Englanders had to find ways to earn a living. Fishing was one way. Cod became New England's gold, just as tobacco was Virginia's. The Puritan settlers caught codfish and then salted and shipped and sold the fish in Europe or the Caribbean islands. In order to do that, they needed ships, so they became shipbuilders. To make ships, they needed lumber, so they harvested timber and began selling wood and wood products. They became merchants, carrying goods around the world. Yankee ships were familiar sights in Singapore and Rangoon and Bristol. And New England boys who hung around the wharfs got a chance to touch Dutch coins, Chinese silks, or fruit from Spain. They heard tales of adventures in Tripoli and Jamaica and dreamed of becoming skippers and going to faraway places themselves. Soon Yankees were trading all kinds of things. They might take their salted cod to Barbados and trade it for cane sugar. Then they'd go to Virginia to pick up tobacco. They'd take the tobacco and sugar to England and trade them for cash, guns, and English cloth. Then on to Africa, where they exchanged the guns and cloth for men, women, and children. From there, it was back across the Atlantic Ocean to the West Indies, where the people were sold into slavery. Finally, they sailed home to New England, or sometimes New York or Annapolis. All that was called the triangular trade. It made some people very rich.